Okay, so in the last lecture, we have started discussion and on value analysis and value engineering. So we have started the new chapter in the last lecture, but due to unavoidable consequences, I think the voice is not proper and the screen is also not visible, was not visible in the last lecture. So I would like to take the some revision on some of the points that is nothing but what the history, the first developed by the Lawrence D. Miles and who was the employee of General Electrical company and uh, before that, before 1947, there was no such a concept of a good valuation or good value and bad value. But yeah, this particular person, D. Miles, L.D. Miles, realized this lacuna in the industries and started working on this particular concept and come to know that the value is the lowest price you must pay to provide a reliable function or service. Okay, it is the lowest price you must pay to provide a reliable function or a service. Okay, so once once we can say that the product having good value. Okay, the product having good value, that is nothing but what it's withstand to its functionality, or it's worthy to pay that much amount. Okay, it's worthy to pay that much amount to that particular functionality. Once we have already discussed that in the last lecture, that this value concept, it depends on a place and it depends on a time. Okay, so the valuation of any product is not constant one, and it changes according to time also and according to the place also. So if you have purchased any product in 2000 and you want to check the valuation of that particular product in 2020, then it may be higher than the cost at 2000, and it may be lower at uh, 2000, and it may be higher at 2020, and it may be lower at 2020. Okay, if you take the real estate concept, if you purchase, if your father were purchased any flat or any plot, and the purchase cost was 50,000, 1 lakh rupees uh, uh, per plot, or we can say that in Marathi we say gunta, per gunta. Okay, and the value of that particular plot in 2000 is near about 8 lakh, 9 lakh rupees. So we can say that the valuation of anything is never constant and it goes on changing. Okay, it goes on changing. So the simple equation we can interpret for this word value. Okay, word value, the ratio of functions to cost, or the ratio of its worthiness to cost, that is nothing but what the value of that particular product. Okay, the value of that particular product. So value will be equal to worth divided by cost, or function or utility divided by cost. Function or utility divided by cost. Now, the different terminologies used for this particular word value, that is functional value, esteem value, cost value, and exchange value. So functional value. So if you are paying for any service and uh, uh, for any function, then that particular valuation will be considered as a functional value, or that particular value will be considered as functional value. If you take any, if you booked any room in the hotel, then you are using the facilities available at that particular room, and you are paying for that. Okay, so that will be the functional value. Okay, that will be the functional value. Then if you taken uh, uh, any flat on a rent, okay, so then you are paying on a monthly basis. Okay, so that service will be considered as a functional value. Okay, then if you consider that, if you taken any VMC machine, CNC machine, or lathe machine on a rent, then you have to pay for that, then that will be a functional value. Okay, then the esteem value. Esteem value is nothing but what? For the attractiveness or attractive features, you are paying the money, or you are paying the price, then that value will be considered as a esteem value. If you are paying for the attractiveness of the product, then that value will be considered as a esteem value. Then the cost value. So how much amount of money spent, or the cost spent to produce that particular product, or to construct that particular product, that value will be considered as a cost value. The sum of labor, in which we can say that the sum of labor, material, and various other costs required to produce it. Okay, the various other costs required to produce it, that will be considered as the cost value of the product. Then exchange value. If you say that if you have produced the product in Indian rupees, okay, so 100 rupees, and you want to sell that particular product in America, in Europe, then you have to exchange the product, or you have to take the dollars and you have to exchange the money from dollar to rupees. Okay, so that will be considered as the exchange value of the rupees and dollars, or rupees or dinars, rupees and we can say that the euros. Okay, so exchange value, its properties or qualities which enables us to exchange it for something else we want, something else we want. Okay, so that will be the exchange value. Now these definitions we have considered in the last lectures related to different terminologies of values, different terminologies of values. Okay, so based on this classification, based on this all the classifications related to the value terminologies, so one can define the value is defined as the minimum money which has to be expended in purchase or manufacturing a product to create the appropriate use or esteem factors. Okay, so minimum value, okay, minimum money need to expend to take the services, to buy that particular product, and uh, the appearance of the product, that is nothing but the esteem factor. Okay, so how much minimum money one have to pay, that is nothing but the value, that is nothing but the value. Now the American society, or the according to the Society of American Value Engineering. Okay, Society of American Value Engineering, this value analysis will be defined as: value analysis is the systematic application of a recognized techniques which identify the function of a product or a service, establish a monetary value for the function, and provide the necessary function reliability at the lowest cost. Okay, so consider that any of the product. Okay, consider the mobile. Okay, in case of a mobile, we are paying the money, or and the company want to release that mobile in the market with minimum cost, because the customer should attract to that particular mobile. Okay, so company need to add up some feature which are uh, we can say that timeline based. What is uh, required for a customer, that is nothing but the functionality of the product. What is the requirement from the customer side as the functionality of the product, that all the feature should be available in a minimum cost for the customer. Okay, so suppose if you get any mobile having the same feature, and it's as compared to another mobile, but its cost is lesser than another mobile. Okay, or another company mobile. So in that case, that customer will say that the mobile having high valuation, because it's it's a comparative statement between the two mobiles. Okay, it is the comparative statement between the two mobiles. Okay, one mobile is having, consider that Apple mobile is having a 50,000 cost, and the Samsung mobile is having 20,000 cost, and both the mobiles having the same feature. Okay, and same reliability. Then the the purchase or the buyer of a Samsung mobile will say that yes, the Samsung mobiles are having more valuation as compared to the the Samsung mobile is having more value as compared to the uh, Apple mobiles, because it is providing the same feature with a lower cost. Okay, with a lower cost. So that is nothing but a valuation. If you reduce the cost of the product, and if you provide the more functionality, then the value of the product goes on increasing. Okay, the value of the product goes on increasing. In a reverse manner, if you say that if you not provide the required functions in the mobile, and the cost of the product is higher, in that case we can say that the value of the product is low. Okay, the value of the product is low. So it is always, value is always the proportional, or we can say that the ratio of the functions or the functionality of the product to its cost. Okay, it is the ratio of functionality of the product to its cost. Okay, more the functionality, more the valuation. More the cost, less the valuation. Okay, so simple relation: more the functionality, more the valuation. More the cost, lesser the valuation. Okay, lesser the value. Okay, so value analysis aims at reducing the cost value to the value of the product. Okay. So if you reduce the cost and provide the required features, then the value of the product will be more. Okay. Value analysis aims at reducing the cost value to the value of the product. Okay. It should be borne in a mind that value is not inherent in a product. It is a relative term. Okay, so it is a relative term. We have compared that to the two mobiles. Okay, Apple mobile and Samsung mobile. So it is a relative term, and value can change with time and place. Value can change at time and place. If you, same example I want to give, the related to mobile. So once the mobile release in a market, its price is always high. Okay, and after some time, the same competitor, same mobile competitor, or the mobile the other another company having uh, the same mobile with same feature, when he released that particular mobile in the market, so there will be a competitor for the mobile in the market. Okay, and that will attract the customer. Okay, that will attract the customer, and so due to that, company needs to reduce its cost, and on a time basis the cost of the mobiles goes on reducing in the future. Okay, so same, it is applicable for the vehicles also. uh, during the life cycle of that particular product, how the cost goes vary, it is more important. Okay, in the market it is more important. At the starting phase, when the product released in the market, at that time the cost of the product is always high, and when there is competitor for that particular product, the competitor goes on increasing, the price of the product goes on decreasing. Now the industrialist need to manage this valuation. Okay, or it has to provide the more functionality with the same cost in the same product, or the industrialist need to reduce the cost of the product. So for that purpose, for reduction purpose, the value analysis need to carry out. Okay, value analysis need to carry out. So this value analysis is useful to reduce the cost of the product, is reduced to cost of the product. Okay, then it can be measured only by comparison with other products which perform the same function. Okay, just I have explained that it can be measured only by comparison with other products which perform the same function. Value is the relationship between what someone wants and what he is willing to pay for it. Okay, value is the relationship between what someone wants and what he is willing to pay for it. In fact, the heart of a value analysis technique is the functional approach. It is relates to cost of a function, whereas others relates to cost to product. Okay, so in another concept, if you say that in another there are different kinds of analysis, cost reduction analysis available for the learning purpose, but this value analysis is always dealing with the functionality of the product, and it tries to provide the maximum functionality with minimum cost. It tries to provide maximum functionality to the customer with minimum price, okay. And it is always based on a time, okay. So it is always a value is a function of a time and place. It is a function of a time and place, okay. So getting everyone, what is the concept of a value and the value analysis? Okay, why value analysis is required? So please write down based on. I think you have written these particular points. Value can be in terms of, okay. So this different terminology is used for a value. Okay, I think you have written these particular points. Please note down the next points based on this classification. Based on these classifications, based on these classifications, value is defined as value is defined as value is defined as the minimum money which has to be expended, which has to be expended which has to be expended in purchasing in purchasing or manufacturing a product, or manufacturing a product to create to create appropriate use to create appropriate use to create appropriate use or esteem factors, esteem factor means the attractiveness of the product, okay. Esteem factors means attractiveness of the product, okay. Appropriate use or esteem factors, okay. Full stop. Next line. According to the Society of American Value Engineering, 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 in bracket SAVE, short form, Society of American Value Engineering. SAVE is the short form for the Society of American Value Engineering, comma, in double inverted comma, value analysis, value analysis, value analysis, value analysis is the systematic application, is the systematic application, is the systematic application of recognized techniques, of recognized techniques, of recognized techniques which identify which identify which identify the function of a product, the function of a product, the function of a product or service, or service, or service, comma, establish a monetary value, establish a monetary value for the function, for the function and provide the necessary function reliably at that lowest cost. Okay, so this is the definition given by SAVE, that is American Society of American Value Engineering. Okay, next point. Value analysis aims at value analysis aims at value analysis aims at reducing the cost value. When value analysis aims at reducing the cost value to the value of the product to the value of the product to the value of the product, full stop. Next line. It should be borne in mind that 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 first point, value is not inherent in a product. 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 Value is not inherent in a product, comma, it is a relative term. It is a relative term, comma, and value can change. It is a relative term, comma, and value can change with time and place. And value can change with time and place. With time and place. Full stop. Full stop. Next point. It can be measured. It can be measured. It can be measured only by. It can be measured only by. It can be measured only by comparison. Only by comparison. Only by comparison with other products. With other products which perform the same function. Which perform the same function. Full stop. Next point. Value is the relationship. Value is the relationship. Value is the relationship between what someone wants and what he is or she is willing to pay for it. What someone wants and what he or she is willing to pay for it. Willing to pay for it. Full stop. Next point. In fact, the heart of value analysis technique. In fact, the heart of value analysis technique is the functional approach. Is the functional approach. Full stop. It relates. It relates. It relates. It relates to cost of a function. To cost of a function, whereas others relate cost to product, whereas others relate cost to product. Therefore value is equal to function divided by cost. Value is equal to function divided by cost. Value is equal to function divided by cost. Okay, so what is meant by value engineering? Okay, so this is one kind of a interdisciplinary problem. Value engineering is an interdisciplinary problem, and it tries to solve to increase the value of a function. Okay, it tries to improve the value of a function, and tries to put up all types of features, all types of a function according to the requirement of a customer in the product with a suitable price. That is nothing but why the concept of a value engineering. Okay, there are two methods, or we are dealing with the two words. One is value analysis and another one is a value engineering. Value analysis is related to reduce the price of a price of the product, is related to reduce the price of the product, whereas the value engineering is try to put up the required functions in the product with minimum price or suitable price. Okay, so that is the concept of a value engineering. Okay, so value engineering in bracket VE is an intensive interdisciplinary problem solving activity that focuses on improving the value of the functions that are required to accomplish the goal or objective of any product, process, service or organization. Okay, getting point? काय करतोय, काय डिफरन्स आहे दोघातला? व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस काय करतोय? व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस टेक्निक्स वापर आपण प्रोडक्टची कॉस्ट रिड्यूस करतो. ओके, व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग यूज करून आपण काय करू शकतो? तर व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग यूज करून आपण प्रोडक्ट मध्ये रिक्वायर्ड फंक्शन्स पुटअप करू शकतो. ओके, with suitable price. Okay, there are two concepts. Okay, function with respect to price. एखाद्या फंक्शनची प्राइस फाइंड आउट करणं आणि त्याप्रमाणे त्या प्रोडक्टचं कॉस्ट किंवा त्या प्रोडक्टची व्हॅल्युएशन करणं, इट इज द पार्ट ऑफ अ व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग. ओके, सो व्हॅल्यू मेथडलॉजी. What is meant by value methodology? Okay, so methodology means what? How to perform this particular task. Okay, like value engineering and value analysis. हे टास्क कसे परफॉर्म करायचे? That is nothing but what? Value methodology. For that purpose, the systematic application of recognized techniques which identify the functions of a product or services, establish the worth of those functions and provide the necessary functions to meet the required performance at the lowest overall cost. Okay, so how to find out or how to perform the value analysis task or value engineering task? So for that purpose, one have to recognize the functions, required functions in one of the product. काय काय गरजेचं आहे एखाद्या प्रोडक्ट मध्ये ते फाइंड आउट करणं गरजेचं आहे पहिल्यांदा. ओके, नीड टू आयडेंटिफाय द फंक्शन्स ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट ऑर सर्व्हिसेस. एखादी सर्व्हिस प्रोव्हायडर असतील तर ते सर्व्हिस प्रोव्हायडरला काय काय देणं गरजेचं आहे की जेणेकरून तो त्या कॉस्टला विथस्टँड होऊ शकेल किंवा त्याचा प्रोडक्ट त्या कॉस्टला विथस्टँड होऊ शकेल. ओके, एस्टॅब्लिश द वर्थ ऑफ दोज फंक्शन्स अँड provide the necessary functions to meet the required performance at the lowest overall cost. Okay, त्या प्रोडक्टनं रिक्वायर्ड फंक्शनॅलिटी परफॉर्म केली पाहिजे आणि प्रॉपर रिलायबिलिटी असली पाहिजे त्याच्यावरती. कस्टमरची प्रॉपर रिलायबिलिटी असली पाहिजे, प्रोडक्ट रिलायबल असला पाहिजे आणि त्या प्रोडक्टनं रिक्वायर्ड फंक्शन्स परफॉर्म केले पाहिजे. ओके, सो दॅट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट. ओके, सो हे जे फंक्शन्स आहेत रिक्वायर्ड फंक्शन्स ते फाइंड आउट करणं आणि त्या प्रत्येक फंक्शनचं व्हॅल्युएशन फाइंड आउट करणं, हे म्हणजे काय तर व्हॅल्यू मेथडलॉजी. हाऊ टू फाइंड आउट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ अ फंक्शन्स. ओके, दॅट इज नथिंग बट व्हॅल्यू मेथडलॉजी. Okay, the systematic application of recognized techniques which identify the functions of the product or a service, establish the worth of those functions, and provide the necessary functions to meet the required performance at the lowest overall cost. Lowest overall cost. Getting everyone? So please note down the concept of a value engineering. 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 In that, write down value engineering. Value engineering in bracket V, capital V, capital E, value engineering. Short form for the value engineering is capital V, capital E, bracket complete, is an intensive, is an intensive, is an intensive, is an intensive, comma, interdisciplinary problem, is an intensive, comma, interdisciplinary problem solving activity, intensive, comma, interdisciplinary problem solving activity, interdisciplinary problem solving activity that focuses on that focuses on that focuses on improving that focuses on improving the value of the functions that focuses on improving the value of the functions that focuses on improving the value of the functions that are required that are required to accomplish the goal to accomplish the goal to accomplish the goal or objective of any product or objective of any product, comma, process, comma, process, comma, service or organization or organization or organization, full stop. Then next, what is meant by value methodology, or how to uh, apply the task or how to perform the task of uh, value engineering and value analysis. Okay, so that is nothing but value methodology. Okay, so please write down value methodology, value methodology, value methodology. In that, write down the systematic application, the systematic application, the systematic application, the systematic application of recognized techniques, of recognized techniques, of recognized techniques, of recognized techniques of recognized techniques which identify the functions which identify the functions of the product of the product or service or service or service comma, establish the worth of these functions, 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 comma, and provide the necessary functions and provide the necessary functions to meet the required performance to meet the required performance at the lowest overall cost. At the lowest overall cost. At the lowest overall cost. Okay, so that is nothing but value methodology. So next, value engineering is the process by which a company analyzes the individual component of a cost within a product or service in order to determine whether it can re-engineer the product's cost base in order to improve the value to the customer. The start point for the value engineering is to understand the relationship between each individual cost component and the value to the customer associated with each individual component of cost. Okay, so here the value engineering is uh, explained thoroughly. Okay, so value engineering is nothing but, first of all, you need to identify the component. Okay, and you have to determine whether it is required to re-engineer to reduce the cost of the product or not. Okay, if it is possible, then how much cost will be saved, and whether it will be helpful to increase the value for the customer for that particular product. Okay, and the start point for value engineering is to understand the relationship between individual cost component and the value to the customer associated with each individual component of a cost. Okay, स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट काय असणार आहे व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंगचा, तर पहिल्यांदा लक्षात समजून घेतलं पाहिजे की एखाद्या फंक्शन, एखाद्या कंपोनंटचं फंक्शनिंग काय आहे. ओके, सो दिस नीड टू बी अंडरस्टँड and what value should be provided to that particular function. Okay, and whether it is it will be helpful to increase the valuation of that particular component for the customer. Okay, so that is the basic strata or the starting point for value engineering. Okay, what is the basic? First, it is nothing but the process by which a company analyzes the individual component of a cost within a product. Okay, एका प्रोडक्ट मध्ये जेवढे कंपोनंट असतील त्या प्रत्येक कंपोनंटची कॉस्ट अनालिसिस केलं जातं. और इन सर्व्हिस, एखादी सर्व्हिस प्रोव्हाइड करतोय आपण, तर त्या सर्व्हिस मध्ये काय काय देतोय. ओके, त्या प्रत्येक कंपोनंटची किंवा इंडिव्हिज्युअल सर्व्हिस. ओके, समजा एका हॉटेलमध्ये सर्व्हिसेस देतोय. ओके, चहा देतोय किंवा राहायला कम्फर्ट देतोय, त्यासाठी हॉट वॉटर प्रोव्हाइड करतोय, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी प्रोव्हाइड करतोय. ओके, सो त्यात किती फॅन्स आहेत, किती बल्ब्स आहेत, एसी रूम आहे, नॉन एसी रूम आहे. सो दॅट इज नथिंग बट ऑल द components which all the functionality of that particular services, and each function having how much cost. Okay, can bear how much cost. So that is nothing but what the finding out the individual component cost or individual service cost for a major service. Okay, so and then further what we have to do, we have to perform the re-engineering on that particular product, whether particular functionality is required or not. Okay, that is the decision factor. Okay, if it is required, then how much value or how much cost should be provided to that particular component. Okay, or that particular function. Okay, so that is nothing but division of price according to the function. Okay, and based on this basis, in order to improve the value to the customer. Okay, so that will be useful to increase the valuation of that particular product for the customer. Okay, valuation increment means what? Increasing the functionality of the product and reducing the cost of the product. That is nothing but what? The valuation for the customer for any product. Okay, so this will be useful to increase the valuation to the product. Okay, and ह्या सगळ्याचं स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट काय असणार आहे? To understand the relationship between each individual cost component and the value to the customer associated with each individual component of a cost. Okay, तर प्रत्येक कॉम्पोनंटचं फंक्शनॅलिटी काय असणार आहे आणि त्याची प्राइस किती असणार आहे हे अंडरस्टँड करणं हे स्टार्टिंग पॉईंट असणार आहे व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंगचा. आणि ती कॉस्ट कस्टमरला परवडते का की नाही, ओके, हे अंडरस्टँड करणं हे व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंगचं स्टार्टिंग पॉईंट असणार आहे. ओके, गेटिंग एव्हरीवन? वेदर यू हॅव एनी क्वेश्चन देन यू कॅन आस्क. ओके, so please note down, value engineering is the process. Value engineering is the process. Value engineering is the process by which a company analyzes value engineering is the process by which a company analyzes the individual components of of cost of cost of cost within a product or service, within a product or service, in order to determine in order to determine whether it can re-engineer whether it can re-engineer the product's cost, the product's cost base, the product's cost base in order to improve, in order to improve, in order to improve, in order to improve in order to improve the value to the customer, the value to the customer. Full stop. Next point, the start point for value engineering, the start point for value engineering the start point for value engineering the start point for value engineering is to understand is to understand is to understand the relationship between the relationship between each individual cost component individual cost component the relationship between each individual cost component each individual cost component and the value to the customer and value to the customer and value to the customer associated with associated with associated with each individual each individual component of cost each individual component of cost. Okay, so now there is so much jumbling, I think so. related to the two words. Okay, that is nothing but value analysis and value engineering. We are using these two words alternatively, and they are sounds similar. Okay, according to the philosophy, and they are sounds like synonymous for each other, and both are dealing with reducing the cost of the product. Okay, but there is a difference between these two terminologies. Okay, there is a big difference between these two terminologies. Okay, though the two terms are used synonymously and philosophy underlying is same. Okay, for both the term, the philosophy is to reduce or eliminate the unnecessary cost. Okay, and but there is a lot difference between these two terminologies, that is nothing but value engineering and value analysis. So what is meant by value analysis? Okay, so value analysis, consider that any product is launched in a market. Okay, is launched in a market. So during the launching time, there is a lot of rush to buy that particular product, but after some time period, what happened? The sale of the product goes on reducing. So after that, during that time period, the survey were carried out by sales department, that why the sale goes on reducing for the particular product. So they come to know some of the points, that the first is nothing but there are many competitor, and many companies release the same product as like of our company in the market, and they are providing the uh, 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 same feature in the product with a minimum cost. Okay, so more valuation for other companies product. Okay, because the cost of the product is less and providing the same feature. Okay, so valuation for other company products will be more, and our product valuation will be less. So that is one factor. Okay, and uh, uh, company come to know that there is a need to redesign the component, or we need to reduce the price on the product by changing some manufacturing process, or uh, uh, changing some operations. Okay, consider this theme. Okay, and now this is the theme in front of us. Already product is launched, and due to some problems, or due to market conditions, the our product cost is very high. Okay, so in that case company need to apply, or need to check the value of our product, and need to find out the alternatives to reduce the value of the to reduce the cost of the product, so that valuation of product should be increased. Okay, after launching of a product, we are doing this uh, task task of reduction of a cost of a product. So that is nothing but value analysis. So here the value analysis, here I have interpreted this value analysis applied to the existing product with a view to improve its value. It is analysis after the fact and remedial procedures. Okay, ज्यावेळेस प्रोडक्ट ऑलरेडी एक्झिस्टिंग मध्ये असेल, प्रोडक्ट ऑलरेडी एक्झिस्टिंग मध्ये असेल, आणि त्याची व्हॅल्युएशन आपल्याला वाढवायचं आहे, किंवा त्या प्रोडक्टची कॉस्ट आपल्याला कमी करायची आहे आणि व्हॅल्युएशन वाढवायचं आहे, किंवा फंक्शनॅलिटी वाढवायची आहे, फीचर्स वाढवायचे आहेत त्या प्रोडक्टचे, जेणेकरून सेम कॉस्ट मध्ये जास्त फीचर मिळतील. सो आफ्टर launching the product, or if the product is already in existence, okay, प्रोडक्शन चालू आहे त्या प्रोडक्टचं रेग्युलर बेसिस वरती, आणि त्यामध्ये आपल्याला जर त्याची कॉस्ट रिडक्शन करायची असेल, त्याचं व्हॅल्युएशन वाढवायचं असेल, तर त्या केसमध्ये आपण व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस टर्मिनॉलॉजी यूज करतो. त्या केसमध्ये आपण व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस टर्मिनॉलॉजी यूज करतो. इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. ओके, व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस applied to the existing product with a view to improve its value. It is analysis after the fact and remedial procedure. Okay, ज्यावेळेस ते एक्झिस्टिंग मध्ये आलेला आहे प्रोडक्ट, आणि त्यामध्ये काहीतरी चेंजेस करायचे आहेत, त्याच्या प्रोसिजर मध्ये काहीतरी चेंजेस करायचे आहेत, अल्टरनेटिव्ह मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग सिस्टीम वापरायची आहे, एक एक्स्ट्रा फीचर ऍड करायचे आहे, तर त्यासाठी व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस ही टर्मिनॉलॉजी यूज केली जाते. ओके, समजते सगळ्यांना व्हॉट इज मेन बाय व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस. नाउ द सेकंड टर्मिनॉलॉजी, दॅट इज नथिंग बट व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग. ओके, so this terminology is used when the product is in a design stage only. It is not in a existence. Okay, तो अजून डिझाईन फेज मध्येच आहे, तो अजून एक्झिस्टन्स मध्ये आलेला नाही. प्रोडक्ट लाईफ सायकल आपल्याला समजते. पहिल्यांदा आयडिया क्रिएट होते, आयडिया क्रिएट झाल्यानंतर डिझाईन होते त्या प्रोडक्टची, डिझाईन झाल्यानंतर प्रोडक्शन होतं आणि त्यानंतर सेल होतं. ओके, थोड्या काळापुरता सेल वरती राहतो, पीकला जातो आणि परत डाऊनला यायला लागतो आणि थोड्या म्हणजे त्याचा तो टाइम स्पॅम संपला तर त्या प्रोडक्टचं प्रोडक्शन थांबवलं जातं. सो दॅट इज नथिंग बट लाईफ सायकल ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, एनी प्रोडक्ट. ओके, सो नाव द प्रोडक्ट इज इन अ डिझाईन स्टेज ओनली and the designer want to increase the value of the product. Okay, design want to increase the value of the product by adding the extra features or the required features of the product. Okay, by adding or designing in a such a manner that the valuation for the product will be higher for the customer. So that terminology will be considered as a value engineering. ओके, समजतंय व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस म्हणजे काय? प्रोडक्ट एक्झिस्टिंग मध्ये आहे, प्रोडक्शन चालू आहे आणि काही कारणामुळं त्याचं सेल कमी झालेलं आहे किंवा त्यात काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम झालेला आहे किंवा आपण कमिटमेंट फॉलो करू शकत नाही कस्टमरचे, तर ह्या प्रॉब्लेमला टॅकल करण्यासाठी जे टास्क व्हॅल्यू रिलेटेड टास्क केला जातो त्याला व्हॅल्यू अनालिसिस म्हणतात. ओके, कॉस्ट रिडक्शन साठी किंवा व्हॅल्यू इन्क्रीज करण्यासाठी. तर दुसरी टर्मिनॉलॉजी काय? व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग. ही टर्मिनॉलॉजी कधी यूज केली जाते किंवा व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग कधी ऍप्लिकेबल आहे? ज्यावेळेस प्रोडक्ट अजून डिझाईन स्टेज मध्ये आहे. ओके, त्यावेळेस डिझायनर त्या प्रोडक्टचं व्हॅल्युएशन वाढवण्यासाठी ट्राय करतो. ओके, दॅट इज नथिंग बट व्हॉट? द व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग. दॅट इज नथिंग बट व्हॉट? द व्हॅल्यू इंजिनिअरिंग. Getting the difference between two terminologies, value analysis and value engineering. Getting? Is there any question, any doubt? Okay, so please note down value analysis and value engineering. 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 In that, write down, though the two terms, yes, though the two terms are used synonymously, though the two terms used synonymously and philosophy underlying is same, and philosophy underlying is same, and philosophy underlying is same, that is unnecessary cost elimination. 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 There is difference. There is difference between there is there is difference between two there is difference between two there is difference between two the difference lies in the difference lies in time and the phase the difference lies in the difference lies in time and phase time and phase of the product life cycle of the product life cycle at which technique is applied at which technique is applied at which technique is applied full stop next value analysis applied to the value analysis applied to the existing product existing product existing product existing product with a view to with a view to with a view to improve with a view to improve with a view to improve its value its value with a view to improve its value full stop it is analysis after the fact it is analysis after the fact and remedial procedure it is analysis after the fact and remedial procedure full stop value engineering is applied value engineering is applied at design stage at design stage value engineering is applied to the product at design stage and thus ensures prevention rather than elimination and thus ensures prevention rather than elimination okay have you noted everything so please put up your roll number in the chat box at 4 p.m. once again our lecture is there okay so we will cover further points related to this chapter in the next lecture okay at 4 p.m. everyone join at time on time okay Shubham Sate, Girish Shelke, Vaibhav Rode, Nishkalank Sapkal. Please put up your roll number in the chat box and you can leave.